I thought you would like this. He's a great one. Big pun. You know? He's like a legend. Okay, here we go. Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Trisha Rampersad, the Core.Behavioral.Therapist, and today we have someone pretty awesome that I got to connect with. His name is DJ Luss, and he's also known as the Dominican Kid. He hails from Lawrence, Massachusetts, where he's known for his unique style of blending Spanish and hip-hop music to entertain at parties and airwaves. He's DJ'd for iHeartMedia and Greater Media commercial radio stations in Boston, Massachusetts, and Hartford, Connecticut. And as an on-air jock, DJ Luss has worked on the highest rated radio shows in the market, as well as the largest urban stations in the United States. Besides radio mix shows, DJ Luss works at the club scene, well, with COVID, it's a bit different, but he worked in major clubs in the Boston and tri-state area, actually all over the world. I see here in Brazil, Russia, Dominican Republic, Bahamas, New York, Vegas, Las Vegas, and Los Angeles. So he's pretty much international. And he's also worked with major hip hop artists like Pitbull, Trey Songz, Sean Paul, Don Omar, Daddy Yankee, Cardi B, DJ Khaled, just to name a few.
Let me just say, not to cut you off, the intro's epic.
Oh, thank you very much, DJ Luss. Thank you. I want to thank you for coming on out of your very, very busy schedule. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
It's all love. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. As you know, this is a mental health podcast and YouTube channel. So anything to help out people during this time of COVID and having awesome people like you is just pretty much a blessing. And shout out to the Dominican community.
Yeah, leave alone.
Right. So, and, you know, I just wanted to thank you again. And I just want you to tell us a little bit about where you're from, how you grew up, that sort of thing.
Okay, and before I start, my level's okay? Do I need to speak up?
You're fine. You're pretty good.
Okay.
Thanks for asking.
So, my background is from the Dominican Republic. I was born first generation in the United States, Lawrence, Mass. That's small city up north of Boston. I'm from the Dominican culture, but I was, raised and born in the United States.
Yeah.
That's my background.
Yeah, you're first generation. Well, did they say second generation? Well, first generation American, really.
I'm American, yeah, that I was born here because my mom and my grandparents came here from the Dominican Republic.
Right, and then you were born here. So, and you grew up in Lawrence all your life in Massachusetts.
Yep, raised in Lawrence. It's actually a small city. A lot of people moved to the city back in the days because there was work here, a bunch of factories and mills.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of opportunities for work. So a lot of people came specifically here because of all the mills. They did Polo, New Balance here. Back then, Bugle Boy. So there was a bunch of mills, like I said. So that's why my grandparents came here. I always asked myself, why this particular town? Why not Miami? It's way closer. But there was opportunity.
Nice,
yeah, sure. It's got that Caribbean blood. That feels more like home.
Right. Yeah. What's Lawrence like? By the way, that was very interesting. That I didn't know that. That's why your family went there, and I would imagine lots of people from the Dominican Republic.
Sure. You come from a third world country, you want to go where you can better yourself. So they came here. And Lawrence it's to me, it's great. It's made me who I am today. Yeah. My experiences, my friends, and just being raised here, and the culture and everything that it brings. What you might see in the news might not be what they say, but like everything, it's got its good and bad. But to me, it's a great place. There's a whole lot of talent here, like myself and other DJs, and on art level, there's a bunch of amazing artists. We even have basketball players that are playing on a national level that'll come from Lawrence, A1 division. So there's a lot of talent being coming out of Lawrence. And it has a history. There's been a bunch of movies that Ben Affleck have filmed in Lawrence. So there's a lot that hovers and happens here. It's a small town. It's off the radar, but a lot of history though, for sure.
That's pretty cool. My uncle's from Lynn.
Lynn it's kind of like a Lawrence kind of vibe. Yeah. So yeah, I like Lynn. I've done a lot of clubs in Lynn.
Yeah. I used to go visit there in Lynn.
They call it the city of sin.
Oh, is it? Okay, I didn't know that one.
One way in, one way out. That's what they say about Lynn.
Okay, DJ Lus in the building.
I'm in here.
Yeah. So, your family made lots of sacrifices, and, what do they think about you being a DJ and pretty much being a successful one at that?
Well, at first, my grandfather was definitely against it. He was very religious. So, he was very, not militant, but I call it militant because he was very disciplined. So, at the time I had got braids because it was hip hop, right? He hated that. He hated braids, traditional grandfather from the island. He looked at that like it was something that related to the streets or whatever. So, just hip hop in general, it was kind of like being judged from my grandparents. And my mom wasn't as harsh with me. She was a little more open. She was actually the one that bought me the equipment. So as much as she didn't like it, she still supported me. You know what I mean? But that's what moms do, right?
Yeah. That's a supportive mama right there. Like, I mean, that's pretty fun.
Definitely, wasn't 100 for it, but at the same time, she was my support system. She went and bought everything. Well, she bought when it was time to upgrade. I'll get into that later how I got my equipment, but she supported me as much as she didn't like, the noise and the content and the substance that was coming out of the music. Yeah. She at least respected the fact that it was something that I loved and it kept me home, and she seen I had passion for that. So yeah, like at first there wasn't for it, but now she loves it. She's a fan, and she supports it all the way. Like, but sometimes that's how it is. You know how life is. You gotta. They didn't have the same vision I did, but she still somewhat did because she always, no matter what, supported what I. At the end of the day, she still supported the fact that I wanted to be a DJ.
Yeah, it's so important when parents are so supportive. That's pretty awesome. Was your dad around?
My dad was not around. My dad took off. I want to say maybe like when I was 4 or 5 years old.
Okay. Sorry to hear that.
No, but I mean, yeah, like it's cool. I have a relationship with my dad. He lives in Texas. I call him. I still touch up with him, touch base with him. I have a brother and sister. They reach out to me a lot, so which is good. I mean, we haven't physically met, but we at least created somewhat a relationship, and I'm planning to bring him up here for the summer.
Wow, that's awesome.
And my dad, because they haven't met my kids. My dad. I don't want my dad to, God forbid he passes away one day. He never met his grandkids, or my kids never met my dad. So that's one of my goals to do this summer. Hopefully, if the dust settles with COVID.
Yeah.
But yeah, my dad wasn't around. I had a stepdad, and it was rough. I was a teenager, so I was rebellious. I was knucklehead. I was young, so we clashed a lot. So I left my house at an early age. I left at, I want to say, I don't know the exact age, but I know I left my junior year. I moved out of my house.
Junior year of high school.
Yeah, because I was making money DJing already, and I just felt like I didn't need. You're young. You thought you didn't. I was in a comfortable space with my stepdad. But now I thank him for everything because I salute him. He did more than my dad did. Like a lot of us behavior that stuff that I know now is because of him. So even though back then I didn't really see eye to eye with him, but I tell him all the time when I see him, I thank you for everything you did back then. Back then I was in a different. I was young, but now now I know why you disciplined me, or why you pulled me aside or whatever. So everything plays out at the end of the day.
I think as you get older, people mature and you realize who is in your corner and
totally.
And when you're a teenager, we all, it's tough, it's difficult. So yeah.
Well, you gotta like, you said you gotta mature, and it took
Yeah.
me time, but I respect that man, just because he didn't have to do what he was doing at the time, and he did it.
Yeah.
So
Was music an outlet for you then?
yeah, totally. I used to dance before I started DJing. I was into dancing a lot. Yeah, I was like break dance and dance house, and
Break
that was my first. Yes, I knew I liked music. I mean, maybe I wasn't the greatest dancer, but but I used to dance and get together with people and create little circles and hype each other up and join talent shows and stuff like that. So I knew I liked music. Yeah, for sure. That was and my mom always cleaning on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Music around me, like it put all this in the mood. So I knew that music definitely played a role.
So music and dancing was your thing. That was like your outlet.
All right. Yep.
Teenager and growing up in Lawrence and what have you. So that's good.
And when you don't learn, what you don't learn at home, you learn in the streets. So
Yeah.
it was good that the music kept me at home.
Yeah. And did you learn your music and your love for music from your mom?
Well, nah, my mom's brother, he plays, her older brother, he had a band. So I was always like be like amazed at how, my uncle could like turn the whole energy around the whole house, and everyone has his attention towards him.
Yeah.
Like that used to like call my attention, like, wow, this guy, he's it's like we're all like he's controlling the energy here right now.
Yeah.
So that kind of like just made me look at entertainers a little different. Like, wow, this guy could really like, someone could be like, this guy could be having a bad night hitting because of your energy and you being charismatic and your personality, you just turn, homeboy's attitude around. So just all of that kind of like helped me becoming a DJ. Like it was those experiences, me seeing my uncle doing this, and so like I said, my mom wasn't the influence with music, but it was my mom's older brother. He was a band member, and then the person who influenced me to DJ was my mom's youngest brother. He used to work with my mom. Yeah. So my mom, just to bring it back a little bit, so when my grandparents moved here to the United States, my mom and her older brother basically had no childhood. They were like my grandparents were always working, so their job was to cook, clean, and be the parents while they were gone, right?
Yeah.
So my mom and her brother, that's what they did, right? So the little brother was basically raised by my mom because my grandparents were always working. They were always in survival mode. They got to keep the bill on. So my mom basically raised her youngest brother. So when my mom, fast forward, was older, her younger brother lived with us. Always. Felt attached to my mom. But he was like 20 something. At the time, I might have been like 11 years old, right? Yeah. But he had turntables.
Okay, the turntable.
I see turntables in my life. And I'm like, oh.
With the vinyl records and stuff. Yeah.
He had records, and he would be my babysitter. So he would take me with him to buy records. Now I'm going to Boston with him on the train. I've never taken the train. So I'm going to the train, taking the subway. We're going into the record stores. We're listening to music. So I'm just being introduced to this whole world that I knew never existed.
Right.
I'm getting the B-roll, seeing like all this. So, and I'm young, and I'm like, wow, this is, and it's like, oh,
different.
Yeah, it's like I'm amazed.
Yeah.
And that's where I kind of like got he's the one that baited me into the whole DJ part, because I would just sit there and just be like watching him just do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
now you were experiencing it. You're learning to experience it.
And then this is where me and him kind of, because now it went from me liking what he was doing to now I want to try what you're doing. And I'm only 10.
What was that like? What was that like?
12, 13 maybe. I'm not too sure exactly what the age was, but maybe like 12 or 13. So now when my uncle leaves to work, I would go in the basement, sneak in, start messing with his stuff. Now he's getting mad at me. It's expensive equipment. I'm touching it. I'm only 12.
Right.
Got a lock, so he used to make it impossible for me to get in there. Yeah. But I think that is what made me want to do it even more. I used to find ways to get in there. You get it? Yeah. I was almost like a crook. Like I was like a little picking the lock to get into my uncle's room.
DJ Bandit.
Yeah, taking photogenic pictures so I know how to put everything back when I'm done. I was like being like, I was like, yo, doing wild stuff, but
Right.
but him,
But he didn't know. He didn't know because you were sneaking.
Well, he did know at one point. After a while, he knew because he was just like, but all that happening is kind of what made me want to do it more. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Making it impossible for me to even touch this equipment. But yeah, definitely my uncle was the one that introduced me to the whole DJing lifestyle when, it being more than just me dancing and listening to music.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Does he know he was such an influence for you? Does he know that?
I took the name from him. His name was
What?
is David, right? So his DJ. I couldn't figure out a name. I used to have trouble thinking of a name, so his name was D Lust with a T. So I just took the T out and I called myself DJ Lust, just because I'm like, this is the only way I can pay kind of homage to him. He DJing. I already stopped DJing, so I was like, oh, what better way to not keep the legacy going?
Yeah,
and he's my biggest fan.
That's awesome. You know how some people can get jealous of family members.
No, he loves it. He embraces me. So like,
he was supportive, and I pay homage to him. Yeah.
And he gave me all his records and everything. Like, yo, here, man. He seen
his records.
He gave me his records. Well, for the first, at first he was, it's a collector's item, so you don't let that go. After a while, when he see where I was taking it, I'm on the radio, and he's like, wow, I can't believe, So he knows that he's the one that injected that into my blood, because without him there, I don't think I would have been exposed to turntables or the DJ culture or whatever. You know what I mean?
I probably would have been on a different trajectory route.
Yeah.
Being where you grew up and everything, So.
Totally. So I'm definitely thankful, and every time we have a great relationship. So I was calling for advice and stuff.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so cool. He's your biggest fan. I love it.
Yeah, David. Shout out to David, yo.
Shout out to David, Uncle David.
Uncle D.
Oh, so being Caribbean and stuff, there's so many issues happening right now. And you know what? Music is cathartic. It's healing, right? And like you said, someone can come in and maybe the guy just lost his job, and then your uncle started spinning or playing music, and the guy just he just turned his whole day around, right? So in the Caribbean, there's a lot of mental health issues, a lot of things that that really, for example, there's what issues you see in the Caribbean that you feel need to be changed? Like, I have a passion for certain things, especially the treatment of women in the Caribbean and what have you. But what are some issues you've seen in the Caribbean, or you've heard about or witnessed?
Well, I know for me going to the Dominican Republic, for example, because I go there often. Yeah. But it being a third world country, I feel like a lot of third world countries suffer from like corruption with politics. On a root level, I feel like there's also a lot of trauma in those islands because of history. Yeah. Women definitely don't get treated right. You hear a lot of stories of like uncles and families and stuff, this sexual stuff that and you hear of like stuff that, or not that you hear that, or it's almost even normalized. You see younger girls getting like they were grown, or like if it's a grown woman. So a lot of things that should not be normalized, it's almost like it's normalized in certain places.
And it's up to us, people like us, to speak up about it, that it's wrong.
Definitely. And another thing is since there's not enough to go around, it's third world country. Yeah. People's mentality, it forces them to like there's a lot of people that at first I didn't know how to look at it, but I'm like, I can't knock them, because when you're living in that environment, you gotta have your survival skills. If I'm not a savage and the next person's a savage, then he's gonna get to the food before I get to the food. So it just puts people in. It's just tough because there's not enough to go around. So it puts people to be like too aggressive, and some people are too aggressive, and then you see these behaviors that I feel like are not appropriate, but it's just because of their living situation that people move a certain way over there. Do you kind of get what I'm saying?
Different. Yeah, they've normalized it, but that normalization causes trauma.
There's like a lot of trauma, and there's a lot of people that are not educated because there's no education. So you only know what your parents tell you, and so this could be information that's been brought down, but it's not necessarily the proper information, and you can't be thinking or moving like if you were in the 90s in 2021.
Yeah.
So, all that stuff. You know what I mean?
It's totally different. Thanks for speaking about that. I mean, you mentioned it was a third world country. You know what? In London, a woman just got killed, and I think it was, it's been making world news now, and that's also sparking the treatment of women, like how you dress, and are you asking for it, or and stuff like that. And it's not okay, right? Like you said, it's deep rooted. In history. So thanks for addressing that.
For sure. I mean,
Yeah. So how do you prepare mentally and emotionally for your job? And I'm sure you played in the Dominican Republic and massive places as well. How do you prepare for what you do?
So I'll break it down differently. So, for example, in the club scene,
Yeah.
I always prepare. Like, I'll try to organize, do my homework, see what's relevant. But no matter what, I'm always nervous when I DJ those big events. Yeah, as much as I prepare, it's a natural feeling. Like, it's a little anxious. It's like, am I gonna really kill it? But it's just me, but it's a normal feeling. Like, as much as I prepare, I get that feeling.
Even after all these years, wow.
Like, when I go on the radio, I don't have that problem.
Right, when you go on the radio.
Now, for that, I feel like I gotta prep more. So that's what I'm saying. It's different. So I don't really prep. I prep for the clubs weekly because I keep my music up to date. Now, if I'm gonna go do a Latin night, then I'll make sure I'll dig in my crates for some stuff that maybe I haven't played in a while. Yeah. So I'll prep like that. But my music, I keep up to date. I keep up with it weekly. So I can only prep.
What do you do for your nerves? What do you do for your nerves? Like, explain that. What do you
have a drink, quick icebreaker, have a quick drink, break the nerve.
Glass of wine, okay.
What was that?
I said maybe a glass of wine.
Yeah, just to break the ice real quick. But I will definitely go 30 minutes, 40 minutes before I DJ so I can get a vibe of the environment, what the DJ's playing, how they react. So I don't walk in there and try to figure it out. So I'll go in there 30, 40 minutes early just to get a vibe of what I'm diving into.
That's pretty smart. So you go in there to just observe your environment, to just ease your nerves and lessen any symptoms of anxiety and what have you. Yeah.
And for radio, like I said, I don't get as nervous.
Yeah.
But there's definitely more prepping for me as far as doing radio. You got to get in there and prep your whole show, what you're going to talk about. You got to talk about what promotions any promotions we're doing, any giveaways we're doing, music that we're playing. So there's more preparation going into something like that than me going to a club and DJing, just because I've been doing it for so long that I have my music set up. I know what's where. I know my soca's here. I know my throwbacks here. I know my new music is here. So when I go to a club, I know where all my ammo is.
Yeah. So you're prepared. So then that eases your nerves when you're prepared. Okay. Correct. That's pretty cool. That's good. Do you remember the most memorable place you've DJ'd at or performed at?
I've had a couple. The Dominican Republic was a dope one just because it meant a lot me going there. I DJ'd, meant a lot to me. I DJ'd for Nas.
Nas, that's pretty awesome.
Lawrence, maybe like 2018, I want to say. And he was just doing a hosting event at a club, and I was a DJ, and I was just playing music, and I was just a host, and he was vibing with the crowd, and he was vibing with the DJ. So he left his VIP, came to the DJ booth, and he comes on stage, he's hanging out. Yo, DJ, I don't know you, but I'm feeling your vibe, he goes to me.
Oh, cool. Oh, my gosh. Getting a shout out by Nas?
Yo, he's like, I don't know you, but he didn't get to say my name. He's like, I don't know you, but I'm feeling your vibe. Yeah. And this is what hip-hop is, right? He's like, I'm supposed to be hosting, but we're going to turn this into a show. Drop anything from my catalog. And depending on how that goes, I'll figure out if I want to do another song. Fast forward, we did 8 songs because he was going off of my energy.
Wow. See?
So that was like it was not planned. It was not supposed to happen, but it was just organically it happened. You know what I
Those
mean?
are sometimes the best experiences, things that organically happen like that.
Yeah.
Those are
So
like the most memorable. That's pretty awesome though.
that was a dope ass show. And what was crazy, that was on the same time that I started the nonprofit. So what I do, I bring a couple students with me. Yo, get on stage.
Yeah.
Kids don't know no better.
Yeah.
The camera, they're recording. They didn't capture me. They captured only Nas because they were so hyped. They're fans. They're dancing. They're catching Nas. So, but it was cool. But you know what I mean. But the kids being kids, they're young. It was a moment. They were like, "Yo, this is fucking legendary." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but that was around the same time that I started the nonprofit. So it was cool that I got to bring some kids with me that were in my class and seeing that whole energy turn from him hosting to now me DJing for him. So I was able to pull that off with the Nas. I did it with ASAP Rocky. So it was cool that I was able to tie in my career with the nonprofit and someone that they know, and it just happened right on the spot, and they be part of that.
It's like a domino effect, one thing after the next. It's just, that's beautiful, man. That's great. Can you talk about your nonprofit? Did you start it, the nonprofit?
So the way we started off, it was I used to work for iHeart, like you said.
iHeart Media, right?
Yeah, I worked for iHeart, and I had a situation, so I kind of just left the station, right?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work out for me. I wasn't growing, so I walked away from it. It was a lot to lose, and it hurt me at the time. You know, I went from having this big machine behind me to now I'm no longer on the radio, right? So
and it was a major radio station in
it was the
Boston.
'1 station at the time. It was called Jammin' 94.5, right?
Sorry, what was
It was
it?
called Jammin' 94.5.
Jammin' 94.5. Okay.
Right? And at the time, they were huge. So an incident happened, and I kind of just walked away from it because I felt like it wasn't working for me. So when that happened, I was like, what am I going to do? So I put my energy into something positive, work with kids. I had an opportunity to work at a program, a nonprofit. I was just part of it. And I was there for 2 years, and it was dope. I was like, damn, as much as I'm teaching these kids, they're teaching me.
Yeah.
So I was learning
Isn't
a lot.
that how it always, yeah, that's how it goes, right?
Yeah. You'd be surprised how much I learned from these kids. Like, they were keeping me hip.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, you know what? I kind of need this. I need this because they're as much as I'm doing for them, they're doing for me. Fast forward, I asked for a raise. They didn't want to give it to me. So then me and my buddy linked up. He was the vice president of the NAACP in Connecticut.
Very cool. Very cool.
Jason Teal. So we linked up together, and we kind of kicked off the nonprofit. He technically owns it. I run the Massachusetts division. So it started out in Connecticut originally, right? Hartford, Connecticut.
Yeah.
And we expanded it to Massachusetts. So now I run the Massachusetts division, and he takes care of the Connecticut division. Yeah. And we've been basically working with kids from inner cities that are, at risk to, either being going to jail, being affiliated with a gang. So we help those kids out and show them different avenues that not only being a rapper on stage or being the basketball player, there's other jobs in those careers and in those fields. You could be an A&R, you could be an entertainment lawyer, you could be an engineer, and you can still love what you do. But trying to land a career job like on stage or as like a LeBron James, that's like getting a lottery. So we just like, listen, man, there's other avenues in the industry where you can still make money. Yeah. So we kind of focus some of the energy on that and becoming an entrepreneur as well. I
love that. I got to take a look at the website, and the kids they're making their own businesses, entrepreneurs, their own clothing lines. They're DJing. It's pretty awesome what you guys are doing over there. Change the play, right? That's what.
Yep, change the play. So change the narrative. Whatever you've been doing, if it's not working, let's change it. Kind of like a game, right? If you're losing, you got to change the play. You got to switch the script. So we take the same approach. We work with a lot of kids that are incarcerated. They're called DYS. So what does DYS stand for?
Division of Youth Service? No.
Yeah. I've been paying it for 3 years. I should know that by now.
It's all right. Division of Youth Services, I think.
So we have state accounts. So I've done like at least 6 different jails, what they call facilities for kids.
Yeah.
So we do that. We do the Boys and Girls Club. We do the high schools. We do middle schools. And we have a different, even though we target kids at risk, we have a different approach. So usually I won't work with any groups bigger than like 10 or 15 kids. Yeah. What I do is I'll have 10 kids, right?
Yeah.
And then 10 kids at risk. and then I'll leave about 5 seats empty, and then I'll tell those kids at risk to go to your school and find me who's the most popular rapper, who's the varsity elite player, who is the best photographer. So I get these people, right? These elite students. Now, you got the elite students, and you got these. So you got the bottom of the barrel with the top of the chain, right?
Yeah.
But they have no interaction in the hallways because they don't mix.
They're from different groups within the school. Yeah.
We'll make these kids, if not Wolf Scout them out, then how we merge them together.
And they end up getting along and being friends with each other after that.
Now you're bonding these kids, and now I'm putting you with so-and-so who might be confident.
Yeah.
Right? The basketball player. Now I'm putting you guys to partner together. Now it's forcing you to step up your game.
Exactly, yeah.
On a positive level, you know what I mean? And it's realistic, whatever goes with setting. So we tiny little tactics like that where we grab like standouts and we put them with kids that may lack confidence or may lack teamwork skills. Now putting you with the varsity football player, the most popular kid in school. So how are you gonna deny being?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we put them in these scenarios where it kind of like helps, boost up their confidence or their, whatever they're lacking. That we can. So and we also do is a big issue that we have is kids don't want to be associated with police. Like, especially with what's happening now, right?
Especially what's happening now.
In this community, you want to have minorities being doing the police. You don't want to have a white guy who lives 5 times over.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you want somebody who lives in your town who looks like you policing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we encourage more kids in the area to become stuff like that. So what we do is we bring in police officers that I know off duty that either DJ, either photography, or do anything that's involved whatever we do, and we bring them into the program off uniform, and they're instructors just like I am, and they'll be teaching you how to DJ, how to make beats, how to record, and then at the end of the program they come in with their uniforms on.
That's so
cool. Bridging the gap between the community and the police, because right now it's not cool, so we try to buffer that out.
You're trying to basically show the kids, that you thought this person was like this, but now he's coming in with she's coming in with her police officer uniform, and
they're like, oh snap, you're a cop this whole time?
Right.
But now that same cop sees you doing some knucklehead shit, and might let you go because they know who you are now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we try
You're bringing them together during a time that's pretty phenomenal. You're bringing them together during a time of racial tensions and where it's very high, and the police don't have the best reputation right now in various areas. So this is pretty awesome that your organization is doing that. It's pretty awesome.
I mean, we only do 10, 12-week programs. I really can't teach you how to be a DJ in 10 weeks. Well, a professional DJ. I can get you going, but I can't teach you how to be a pro DJ in 10 weeks. But I can teach you life skills. I can teach you how to meet a goal. I can teach you how to be a team player. I can teach you how to boost your confidence. I can teach you responsibilities. That's what we do during the 10 weeks. We just buffer it through music and fashion.
Yeah, that's so cool. And I would imagine too, when you bring the kids together with different types of kids too, that it probably lessens bullying.
Yes.
Lessons, yeah. And
it helps out because now you're bonding kids together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But I will say this: you can't save them all. Not all of the kids I have are a happy ending. You know what I mean? Some kids, not unfortunately, we don't save them all. Some kids go back to that environment and just kind of they don't know no better. So it's tough, but.
So you're kind of closing the recidivism. I'm always having a tough word. Yeah, that rate, the recidivism's rate. So you're putting a closer gap to that. So, but it is sad. It is sad when the kids are going and they're going back in.
Yeah, because listen, once they're in these facilities and they're with us and they're out of that environment that they're in.
Yeah.
You can deprogram them. You can do what you want.
Yeah.
Once they go back to that environment, that toxic place, the peer pressure. I don't got no money.
I was gonna say making the money. Yeah.
They don't want to hire me because I got a record.
Right.
After this, I'm gonna go do a quick come up. So like, I don't condone what they're doing, but when you put them in these scenarios, it's like, and then it's just tough. You know what I mean? So it is tough, man. Like when you go back to that, it's how do you break that? You're going back to that.
Well, people like you and organizations can help with
Yep.
preventing them from going back. You said you helped out in the jails too with the kids
Yeah.
there. What was that like for you? What was that like?
And the cool thing about it is that
Yeah.
I actually have some amazing stories to tell. I have 2 students that were behind the desk as a student,
Mm-hmm.
and they're now teacher's aide. They're my assistant. They're getting paid. They DJ me on the weekends.
That's
So
awesome. That's phenomenal.
when
Yeah.
I go in the facility and I see a couple kids, 18, 17, 19, and then I bring in one of my prior students that is now an instructor, and he's only 22. Fast forward 3 years, 4 years from your age, and now he makes an extra 500 on the weekend now DJing because he got it together. He's getting booked, and now I'm paying him to come teach you guys. So he
Wow.
figured it out, and that's a positive story. He went from sitting where you are now, and he got it together. That I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna put you down with me, and now he's teaching you guys. So we definitely got some stories that we turned around. Like, you know, they're like I said, now they're part of the team. You were the problem. Now you're part of the solution.
That's so. You guys need to go up and down the East Coast or across America with this organization.
Well, we're trying. I mean, we want to brand it as much as we can, but it's tough though. But yeah, we want to definitely.
Yeah.
We're working on Florida.
I was just gonna say you should work on Florida, New York, like the major cities. Where in Miami?
Yeah, because the company that I collaborate, which is 8 and 9, they sponsor me. They're they're like one of the top 3 fashion brands out of Miami. Yeah. They got national distribution. So we use them to do our designs. So they FaceTime. So the kids FaceTime the CEO of this company, and they get to see, you know, the process. But since he's already in Miami and we've been doing this for so long, that we figured, why not pivot in Miami? You're there.
That's Miami is one of the perfect places to be in.
And they have the same issues we have here when we're doing the problem. So yeah, we're definitely looking into that.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty cool. So you're changing the world by working with these kids and what have you, which is pretty awesome. People are talking about what's going to happen after COVID. Like the Roaring 20s, people are talking about it. I mean, you're going to get booked. And these kids who are doing what you're doing, that you're helping, are going to get booked. Are you like prepared for that? You're going to be in high demand right now.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I agree because the past a year, everything got either postponed or it's either got canceled, right? Yeah. So it's going to be a surge of like bar mitzvahs, sweet 15, weddings.
Yeah. I didn't get to celebrate my birthday on my graduation, so yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta reschedule that. You gotta roll with it like everyone else.
I have to. There's all these things that people haven't. You know how many weddings got canceled and stuff.
Well, listen. So this COVID has been like the gift and the curse because it killed 50% of my income because I was doing prior to this. I was in the clubs on the weekends, right? Yeah. And I lost that. So. I had to kind of like restructure the way I live and budget myself. And I sold my house, like I told you, because I didn't know what was going to happen, right? Yeah. But it worked out for the better because now I ended up getting 2 houses. But fast forward, I mean, let's talk about the DJ. Yeah. I found myself like, what am I going to do?
I was going to ask you, what did you do during COVID?
My kids are like, jump on TikTok, go live, do this, do that. I did a couple of Zoom parties, DJing. Okay. And it was cool. I got wasted in one of those parties. I don't know if I want to be doing those parties. I almost got a DUI going up my stairs.
Oh, God.
So then,
your life, huh?
This is crazy. You get carried away doing these online cyber parties.
Right.
But it was great. And then I did one TikTok video. My son's like, do a video. So I did one. And I posted it. And then I recorded it in the summer. Yeah. I didn't post it until September because I was BSing. I was slacking.
Yeah, you're just playing around with TikTok.
But I wasn't like I was just doing it because they were telling me to do it, not because I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
But I eventually put it up, and I'm like, okay. I got 5 followers, but I got 2,000 views. how does that add up?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, and I didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
I left it alone, but the house got busy with the house.
Yeah.
Ready, finished that project, and I went back to TikTok.
Yeah.
10,000 views when I go back. And I'm like, yo, I haven't been able to crack 6,000 views on Instagram for 6 years.
Hey.
Like, oh, I might be onto something. So I did another video and I put more effort into it because I just did that to do it.
Yeah.
I put more effort into it and like 20,000 views. And I was like, yo.
There's something here. There's something.
Yeah, I'm like, this might be the platform for creators because it's easy to get discovered here.
Yep.
Versus on Instagram, you're entertaining the same people that follow you versus TikTok, you're entertaining a new crowd of people.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So I did a couple videos and I was like, yo. And then someone that was a promoter from Boston is like, dude, look at my followers. I checked his page, he has 140.
Yeah.
Like, so he started giving me advice. Do this, do that, do this. So I started listening to him. And next thing you know, it started climbing. And since I started in December, like
on TikTok,
like going like like actually putting effort into it,
mm-hmm.
I picked up 12 weddings from December to March.
Oh, what?
And three of them on the tri-state. 3 of them on the tri-state, and 1 is in Jersey.
Okay.
But all from TikTok.
12 weddings, all from
Let me not say 12 weddings. I have 12 events. 1 is a 40th birthday party. 1 is about bar mitzvah. 3 of them are sweet 15s, and the rest are weddings.
One of your videos got like close to 500K views, and that's the one with the island. I told you, with the island vibes, the rhythm and the like reggae and stuff. Those are the killers. Those are good ones too. And I think you're about to crack like 50K followers.
I've been trying to crack 50. I don't know what's going on. These algorithms are messing with me lately, yo. But I do have 5.
I think we're gonna crack it with this. This is gonna go all over. So
let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm really happy though for you that you picked up these 12 events. I mean, you had a rough year. A lot of us had. No one really talks about how rough creatives like yourself have had it.
It was a rough year, dude. And luckily the station furloughed me. So I was collecting unemployment, and then they had me.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that. They furloughed.
I got furloughed, but I got a great relationship at the station, so they had me on call. So it never felt like I got let go because I was always on call, DJ. I'm working. So that worked out for me. I was able to still finesse the nonprofit with those doing it from home.
Yeah.
The Zoom classes. So I was able to, get by and then just restructuring and readapting to the new living. I had less money to make, so I had to, just spend less money and go out less and adapt to my new situation. So
it's a new world now, right?
So I did a lot of that, and now hopefully things open back up and we get some momentum going. And I mean, people are hitting me up for parties.
Yeah.
I haven't taken no clubs yet, just because
I don't think it's too safe. You think it's safe?
Yeah, I just haven't, like, it's not calling me yet to do. You know what I mean?
Well, also, have you ever performed at the carnivals, like Trinidad Carnival, Miami Toronto Caravana, anything like that?
I did Labor Day in Miami.
Labor Day in Miami. Oh.
South Beach.
Miami Carnival is it Labor? When you say Labor Day, I think of Brooklyn. Huh?
Because where does everybody go now for Labor Day?
They're not going to Brooklyn anymore?
Because listen, I know, for example, when I went to Miami it was like 2012, that era. That's where everybody used to go for Labor Day. And then they stopped going there. I know now they're going to Vegas.
Miami is big for Carnival. Yeah.
So, no. So I've done Labor Day Miami, was massive. It was the whole, what's it called? Ocean Drive, right? And
South Beach, Ocean Drive, South Beach.
South Beach,
yes,
that's what I did.
Yes.
So I did that, and then I've also done Calle Ocho. You familiar with that?
Is that a club there, or what?
Calle Ocho is the Latin version of Carnival.
Oh.
So they grabbed a street called 8th Street in Miami.
Yeah, I know 8th Street.
4 or 5 miles, and it's all the side streets that go off of it. They got a bunch of stages. So you'll see Pitbull on one stage, Daddy Yankee on one stage. They'll have like a Rebel stage. Kevin Little's on one stage. Like it was all Caribbean. It was mixed.
That's
So I did that, and I actually did it for Pitbull.
that's
So I've done
awesome.
a couple, not many. You know, I still want Carnivals.
Carnival is going to be, I know people who book their hotels already for Carnival
Yeah, that's on the
in
list.
advance. It's going to be, that's what I'm saying. Like, are you prepared? Like, get ready.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, those things are gonna be through the roof.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be a good time. I mean, I think people have suffered so much, and there's been so much
We're
loss.
ready for it.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone is pretty much ready for it. So what kind of advice do you have for creatives like yourself now emerging, that's coming out?
Definitely take advantage of all the tools in like for example the internet. Like
Oh yeah,
when I was coming
TikTok
up,
for sure.
yeah,
TikTok
when I was
for
coming
sure.
up, I didn't have any of these platforms. I was doing groundworks. I was walking down streets, knocking on doors, selling CDs down my hall in high school. So nowadays, you can find a graphic designer for like $10 on Fiverr.com.
Yeah,
Before I would pay $80 for a graphic designer. So there's a bunch of tools out there. You just got to crowd surf. What else? You can TikTok, all these YouTube. They're platforms you can get discovered. When I was young, you have to go to New York, go to the record label. If you wanted to be on TV, you have to go to LA. Now you don't got to go to these big cities and big markets because you got these platforms that put you where you can create your own following and you can monetize that.
yeah,
So definitely take advantage of all the tools that are out there, and don't get discouraged as far as like there's not one way to make it. What worked for me doesn't necessarily is going to work for you. What worked for so and so. So there's not one right way to make it. Because a
yeah,
lot of people get discouraged. Oh, you know this guy, dude. Just stay consistent,
yeah,
growing, and I mean, yo, perfect your craft. Because I feel like sometimes people get too antsy and want to make the money
yeah.
before you sharpen your knives up. You got to sharpen them up, get them right. And
Sharpen your knives. I like that. Sharpen your knives.
listen, if you're good at what you do,
Yeah,
you'll have a job for the moment. If you're great at what you do, you have a job forever.
that's so good.
So
If you're good at what you do, you have a job for the moment. If you're great at what you do, you have a job forever. That's pretty awesome. Oh, you're so full of wisdom. Who knew? DJ.
from people that, you know, it's stuff that I hear from people that I admire that are successful, that I see them, you know what I mean? So this is just me.
Yeah, your world experience. Yeah,
You know what I mean? For people that inspire me and people that kind of motivate me. So
yeah.
it works for me. So I just, you know, spit it back out hoping it works for someone else.
Well, I mean, in the line of work, like you have to be a business person. Like
Yeah.
and you have to have people like you like when you do like when you work with other people, right? You both can help each other's platforms out, right? And then you get your name out there, and so yeah,
Well, yeah, one hand wash the other, and then
exactly.
two ideas
Yeah,
spark up many ideas, and then now you're tapping into each other's fan base. So yeah, it's a win-win.
it's a win-win. Exactly. Yeah. So now people want to get in touch with you. Can you give some of your information? Like, let's say they want to book you or they want to connect with you on
Yeah,
TikTok and
connect
stuff.
with me? For sure. All my platforms are at DJLUS,
Yeah.
and or you can just go directly to my website at djlus.net, and you can get a hold of me through there.
And cool. And let's say years from now, what do you want people to remember you by?
Hey, that's a tough question. I mean, yeah, like I started this DJ stuff, this music stuff. Started out as passion, hobby, became my career, became my job, and people that know me will tell you what I'm going to tell you, that I stuck to what I wanted to do and I kept doing it. So like, if there's something that you want to do, just do it. I mean, I'm a living example of that. Like, don't get me wrong, I did get a 9 to 5. I did that route, but I believed in myself enough that I don't have to do any of that anymore. So just believing in myself, man. I was a big believer in what I did, what I was doing. So, I mean, yeah, just believing in yourself, bro. I guess I'm a good example of that. I'm from Lawrence, a town where, a lot of people like get, downplayed, because of where you come from. But at the end of the day, you can shake that off. And if you're consistent with what you do and believe in yourself, you're gonna win the prize, man. Just bet on yourself.
Consistency. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Trish.
I appreciate you, Raphael.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Let me know so I can repost this and all that.
Yeah, I'll definitely connect with you and send you this information and stuff. But
whenever you're in Boston, girl, you better pull up to one of our parties.
For sure. And maybe you'll throw my graduation and my birthday.
Talk about that. Yeah, we do something out there in Jersey, the tri-state, huh?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Right,
yeah, you're a breath of fresh air. Let's just put it this way. I think bringing joy helps people alleviate or lessen symptoms of anxiety and depression. And music is really healing. It's really cathartic. So thanks. Keep doing what you're doing and inspiring people.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And thanks everyone for listening. I'm Dr. Trish Rampersad, the Core.Behavioral.Therapist. And we had DJ Luss.
And make sure you slap that like button.
Like and subscribe. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.